Hi, I'm Zach. I'm a drifter and drifting advocate, and I'm pushing for a change. For too long, drifting has been stigmatized and had a negative connotation. I have 5 minutes to change your mind. This song, Night of Fire, is my favorite Super Eurobeat song, and it is 5 minutes long. To explain, Super Eurobeat is one of many subcultures of drifting and is the sole music choice for the cult classic anime Initial D, where in the coming-of-age tale of tofu delivery driver Takumi Fujiwara, work ethic, peace, and tranquility are all taught by his quiet, judicious father through the ability to deliver precious tofu on time and undamaged. He learns this by drifting. There is much more to this than meets the eye. Sense of duty, confidence, and leadership, to name a few. These are all characteristics that make young men and women better members of society. Clinical psychologist Jordan Peterson states, "You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it." This doesn't fall in line with the tale of Takumi and his lowly 8.6 Corolla, though. This falls in line with society's discrepancy of support for young people. A quick Google search shows 17 driving schools in my metropolitan area, 326 public schools for general education, and 2 schools that teach drifting in the entire state of Utah, at the cost of roughly $1,000 per day. A large cost to develop a skill. There is a massive push for display of advocacy of mental health and support for young people, but aside from run-down rec centers and public parks designed around the mind of baby boomer era children, what recreation is there for young people who want to challenge themselves to grow or blow off steam? There are many ways, but there are few ways as effective as drifting for many like me. A study titled Young Drivers' Optimism Bias for Accident Risk and Driving Skill stated drivers to perceive themselves as more skillful and less prone to driving accidents than their peers may lead to less engagement in precautionary driving behaviors. I interviewed a local street and semi-professional drifter, Brian Molina. I asked him if he thought that drifting made him more confident about driving safer on public roads, to which he replied, "Hell no, people suck at driving. Drifting in safe places makes me more aware of the poor driving I'm surrounded by on a daily basis." A personal story about drifting. Years ago, my wife had a car accident where she rolled her Nissan SUV while changing lanes on a snowy highway. She has suffered from immense PTSD from this, with triggers such as noise from splashing snow and sleet, sliding, and even rumble strips on the road were enough to visually see her discomfort. There have been times where I, the husband, would have to drive to her in my own car and talk to her on the phone while we drove through the snow together in an attempt to get her home calmly and safely. There have been situations where she is unable to move or operate her car while in traffic because of the sounds, feelings, and flashbacks. Shortly after the accident, we bought a 1996 Mercury Grand Marquis with the intention that she would learn to drive in a way that was fun and safe, and even better, triggering to the PTSD she was suffering from. In my mind, she needed to face and defeat her demons. Rear-wheel drive is the worst thing in the snow for a novice driver, but my wife wasn't going to be a novice driver. She wanted to get past this trauma. We spent hours out in the snow drifting in abandoned parking lots and even crashed into a medium-sized tree, but the $500 Mercury didn't mind. Ashley drifted in the snow, sometimes in the rain, and eventually as a grassroots driver at UMC, Utah Motorsports Campus in Grantsville, Utah, during a sanctioned drift event. Ashley still has triggers of her PTSD, but she drives a rear-wheel drive car every single day, and at UMC she was capable of linking the course, meaning that she drifted every single corner in a row without spinning out or hitting anything, all while sideways. Drifting has made Ashley a better driver and a more competent person emotionally in the face of the hardship she fell victim to. Drifting trains its driver to be more alert, and this is not something that is made inactive for other driving situations. This makes for a safer mode of transit outside of the drifting environment. For most drivers, education stops at the attainment of a driver's license. For a drifter, constant attention to the environment and conditions and hyperfixation on the condition of tires and traction creates a student of the situation. No subject master was never a student, and those who aren't interested in challenging the limits of their vehicle cannot be a student of their situation, let alone a master. Drifting as a skill is a benefit to those who hold it. Why stop people who want to be better and safer drivers and calmer and happier people? We need sanctioned areas for people to learn to drive, drift, and become better and safer drivers. This will result in happier people, safer roads, and less reckless drivers.